Okay? We're holding page 290, 294. Page 294. Tafri Shayin Tes. Now, what do you light first? Shabbos candles or Hanukkah candles? So you'd say, Toda Sheni, Toda Konim. But if you write Shabbos first, you have a problem. You're Makabel Shabbos. How do you light Hanukkah candles? So therefore, because of that problem, you can light Hanukkah candles before Shabbos candles. Correct? Be'erev Shabbos madlikin ner Chanukah tchila v'akach ner Shabbos. First you light the ner Chanukah, and then ner Shabbos hago, u'mevorach aleim k'mo b'chol. And you say the bracha latel ner shel Chanukah, although during the week it's always after Shkia. It's a question of how much. Is it 25 minutes, 42 minutes after Shkia? It says Kochovim. But the bracha, although it's a lot earlier, it's before Shkia, because you have to light, you can't light it after sundown. What's happening? Although you're lighting it earlier, we're talking about it's after Plaka Mincha, nevertheless you say the brachas, you would say it during the week at nighttime. B'leil Shabbos, Vuadin b'chol tzorach lizor b'zeh shel lahamen neres neged hamokom shesholet, no, excuse me, ner tchilo, v'lotzes dea adase yishomim, the svirlu di yadlik shel Shabbos tchilo, kiblei l'Shabbos, v'itzar lei melocha. Even though it's difficult, because we said a man lights Ner Shabbos. Ner Shabbos for a man is never Kabbalah Shabbos, even if his wife's not lighting for himself. He's lighting, he's all by himself, he lights Ner Shabbos. It's not considered Kabbalah Shabbos. Kabbalah Shabbos is Mizbah Yom Shabbos, that's Kabbalah Shabbos. And if it's after Shkia, that's what it is. See, many people, we discussed this back, there's a mitzvah of Tosefah Shabbos. We're supposed to add. Okay? This says relevance to all of us. Very often in shuls, and Mishna Berura says, what is L'chatchila Tosefah Shabbos? Minimally 18 minutes. That's why in the calendar, you will always have Hadlokas Neris 18 minutes before sundown. Some calendars, they have 20 minutes, 22 minutes, but that's Tosefah Shabbos. But the man comes to shul, he didn't accept Shabbos when the wife lit. What women usually are very makbid. They light based on what it says on the calendar. Some women light slightly earlier. So they're Makayim Tosefah. And even, you don't have 18 minutes, 15 minutes. You get to shul, they're finishing mincha, it's already shkia. Right? So when are you Makabel Shabbos? When you say Mizbah, when you say Mizbah, that's after shkia. Right? So the people who are in shul, they will never did Tosefah Shabbos. Because so what do you have to do? If you daven early enough, you have to say, if you want to be Makayim Tosefah Shabbos, you think in your mind, I'm Makabel Shabbos from this moment. Because the moment you say that, from that moment going forward, that's Shabbos for you. No, you said Mincha. You said, no, that's late. It's more than 18 minutes. You're going to say L'chododi. But factually, you're not Makabel Shabbos to Mizbah. When they get to Mizbah, it's after Shkia. Right? No, but I'm saying, even if you daven Mincha early, let's talk about you daven Mincha early. It's not in the summertime, you daven Mincha early. When did it get to Mizbah, Yom Shabbos? Usually after Shkia. If you didn't think in your mind, I'm a Makabel Shabbos, you want Makabel Shabbos. Mizbah Yom Shabbos. But after Shkia, you don't have Makabel Shabbos any longer. It is, it may be Shabbos already. So therefore, what you should think in your mind or verbalize it, that before I'm a Makabel Shabbos. Before sundown. Let's say in shul you finish davening mincha. Let's say before sundown. Let's say before shkia. I don't know what shul you daven in. The early minyan, the later minyan, I'm not sure. It's a problem. In most shuls, it's a problem. Some people always daven earlier Friday. Some people, so they have it easy. They get to shul after Hadlokas Neiros, they say we're Makabel Shabbos, even though it's before L'chon Rano. Said it's good. So now, 18 minutes before sundown, it's Shabbos for them already. But if you don't do that, and you wait for Mizbah, when are they going to say Mizbah Yom Shabbos? After sundown. You don't have to accept Shabbos. You're already there. So you didn't fulfill the mitzvah of Tosefah Shabbos. No, once you do that, then you can't have mincha. Then you can't have mincha. It's a catch-22. So then you can't. No. No, no, nobody says that. Okay, so you get less than 18 minutes. But you still have to have it in mind, right? If you don't have it in mind, you're not going to, until you get to Mizvah right before Shkia. In the summer, it's not a problem. Summertime, they daven way early, it's fine. When you say Mizvah Shir, it's more than 18 minutes before sundown. It's not a problem. But in the winter, it's a problem. No, if you have a later Shabbos, it's the same problem as the winter. It's two different things. Two different things. Two discussions. Okay? Okay? Okay, two discussions. The reason why they told you it's better to start only because of Kriya Shema. It has nothing to do with what you were talking about. To say Kriya Shema in its proper time. Because there you're saying Kriya Shema way early. So you have to make sure to say it later. Okay. Outside of that, there's no reason. Why shouldn't you start Shabbos earlier? There's no reason not to start earlier. Okay. Right. Ner Chanukah Tchilo, K'dei Lotzis Das Yishom, the Svirle, the Yadlik, Shel Shabbos Tchilo, Kiblei L'Shabbos Yitzar Ala Melocha. Avrov Poskim Cholkim Al Zeh. Majority argue. And they say to a person, even if you like Ner Shabbos, you're not locked in. It's based on what? What your mindset is. Lo tayi kabel Shabbos bad lokas ner al kainim hidl shel Shabbos lo kibul Shabbos b'machshavto. This happens, I told you, very often. If a woman, let's say, has to go to the mikveh Friday night, and they live at a distance from the mikveh, and so they want to go take a car, a cab in one direction, and they'll walk back. So what does she? But the woman always lights ner Shabbos before she leaves the house. So she lights candles. She has in mind specifically she's not accepting Shabbos with the lighting of the candles. Gets into the car, goes to the mikveh, and she does whatever she has to do before sundown, although she already had lit candles. But it's not al-chatchila. Because really, the one who lights candles, that should be your Kabbalah Shabbos. You said, Ladlik Ner Shel Shabbos. Not tonight. It's not a condition. These candles, this is like we said, Harei Mekdeshes Leilachos Shloshim Yom. These candles represent Ner Shabbos. But I'm not accepting Shabbos until Shabbos comes, or whenever I decide to accept Shabbos. That's what we're saying. Okay? This happens also, let's say a person is invited as a guest to somebody. It's too far to walk. You know, you can walk only one direction. So you drive to the person's house, even though the person very often could light candles there. Because by the time you get home, the candles are going to be out already. Right? So it's best to light candles where you can eat. You have electricity in your house. It's not a problem. Right? Okay? He says, all this is a man who lights. So he says, a man, usually the lighting of the candles is not synonymous with accepting Shabbos. But a woman, where it is, the minig is that when a woman lights candles, that is Kabbalah Shabbos. If that's the case, she's not permitted. She should tell another person to light on her behalf, if she has to light for herself. And he'll say the bracha as an agent. Now this is important. Right, lahadlik ner, that's a chilul Shabbos. So since she accepted Shabbos, that bracha she's not able to say. So the party who lights on her behalf will say the bracha on her behalf. But she'osa nisim, has not, right, that she could say, shechionu she could say. You can only light only after plug simultaneous ner Shabbos. Shusho revia kodem elayla, it's an hour and a quarter before nightfall. Moshe kos b'reishim tov reisha and beish kvar kusavnu shem achronim. Tzorach litain boshem. Now this is important, and this is years ago where most people did not light with oil candles. Didn't have oil. Oil, just add more oil. But if you had a candle, and the years ago, everybody had the colored candles, that box, the candle didn't burn more than a half an hour. So what do you do Friday? It has to burn a half an hour into nighttime. So we had to use Shabbos candles in those days. And let's say you have a few people. So in those days, you would only light one set of candles for the whole family. Because you couldn't, I mean, if it was the first night, it wasn't too bad. But if you're already holding by the end of Hanukkah, what are you going to have? You're going to have 64 Shabbos candles burning. It's not possible. Because we have to start the Seder after nightfall. Correct. But, they could still do it earlier and say Kriya Shema early, and you'll say Kriya Shema later again. As long as you get to the Seder has to start at nightfall. So what you should do is, if they daven too early, which they probably will, they say Kriya Shema in its time. No, that's what I'm saying. It'll still be too early for Kriya Shema. When you get home, after you finish setting up the Seder, it takes a while. It takes 10, 15 minutes just to get things in place. Say Kriya Shema, and then you say the Kiddush. Because you're already holding at the time of the Kriya Shema. So Kriya Shema should be said, then you start the Seder with the Kiddush. But if you accept Shabbos on the way to shul, then you can't daven mincha. That's a problem. Correct. Right. Exactly. Okay. Sometimes it's after Shkia. Sometimes it's after Shkia. What am I like those? Rabbeinu Tam. But once you go Rabbeinu Tam, that's a whole different. Then you have to start the Seder later. Then you have to start the Seder even later than you're going to start the Seder. Where's it difficult? You're still saying Shmona Esrei for Mincha, you must go to Shkia. B'di'evet, you could say after Shkia. You could say Mincha according to, you could say Mincha even after Shkia. You could say Mincha after Shkia. No, let's say a person didn't say Mincha before Shkia. The way they do it now is, let's suppose that you have just finished the Shmona Esrei, the Mincha Shmona Esrei, as you cross Shkia. It's okay. So now what do you do about the... You don't have it, you missed it. You missed it. There's nothing you can do. Nothing you can do. That's what we were discussing before you walked in. Right? So you have to daven earlier. You have to really say mincha, go to an earlier minyan. If you want to do the Sefer Shabbos, you have to go to an earlier minyan. That's what Mishna Berura says. Once Shkia comes, it's not because you're accepting Shabbos, you're in a position you have no choice but to keep the Shabbos. So it has to be, minimally it should be 18, but let's say it's 5 minutes, 1 minute. But it has to be before Shkia. Because before Shkia, I know it's before Shkia, I can do Malacha, I choose not to do Malacha. Okay, so accept Shabbos. But if you already crossed that line into Shkia, what have you accepted? You haven't added anything to Shabbos. It's a suffix. It's a suffix. So therefore, so why are you observing the Shabbos? Because you added to the Shabbos, or because suffix deraisa l'chumra? It's not because you've added. You don't have to have in mind. You don't have to have in mind that you're bringing Shabbos. Shabbos, halachically, Shabbos is here, based on the principle of the Reis l'chumra. Okay. So it's not helping. I was thinking that maybe I have in mind the Shabbos really hasn't started yet. I want to be closer to Shabbos right now. What I'm telling you now, what Mishna Berura says, because you're bound, because of the Reis l'chumra. It's not because you're adding, you have no choice but to conduct yourself as you're conducting yourself. Okay? It's a machlokes rishon. Okay? So you have no test to Sefer Shabbos. That's what we're discussing. You can't. No, there's a mitzvah to add before and after. So that's the after. Two separate things. Okay? וכבר שם אחרונים דצורך בו שמן עד שידליק חצי שעה חצי כוכבים. You have to put in enough oil that you burn a half an hour into nightfall. Madlik neros, and if you use candles, you have to use a larger candle. You can't enkel kach shemet v'neros gedolos. He says, what about if you don't have that much oil? You don't have such a long candle. Minimally one candle should be. You should have one candle because you yotze the mitzvah with one candle. Hear this? The proper thing is to dav mincha first and then light the candles. 1 second. He says, why? What's the reason? There's a shartzion. It's interesting. What is the, when you light candles, what does that mean? You're lighting it for Shabbos, right? You're lighting the Friday night to represent the candle at Friday night, which you can't light Friday night because it's Shabbos. So it's like a tarti, it's not a real tarti. It appears to be like a contradiction. Here you're identifying already Friday night and you'd have a mincha, then you're going backwards. So therefore it's best to first say mincha and then light. Al korch somech ala kula to plug mincha ulmal nucha lashoso lashos kmo lailo himkein ech lispal achkach mincha. If you're able to find a minyan early, so you daven early, it's better that. Okay, so that's the question. You should have mincha before Adlokas Neros. Who else lights it? You plan to light them at home. You're home Friday night. You're Friday. No. Neres Chanukah. Right? Do you dav mincha first or you light Neres Chanukah first? He says it's better to dav mincha first. Why is it better to dav mincha? Because otherwise it's a slight tarti desasri. It's like a contradiction. I mean, you're lighting the candle to represent Friday night, and now you're davening mincha. Mincha means it's Friday, even though it's not a real tarti desasri, right? It doesn't make a difference. Therefore, it's best to first do mincha, and then you light the candle. Definitely, not even a question. Even if he's not accepting Shabbos, even though his lighting is not accepting Shabbos. No. A man could do that. And let's say a man has nobody to light from. He lights his own candles. He lights his candles, and again, lighting candles. It's not al chatchil because there's some say once you light candles, you're locked into Shabbos. You're really locked in, even for a man. There's a question. We don't rule this way. The majority hold that candles is only because the presumption is that is the acceptance. For women, the meaning is her lighting is the acceptance of Shabbos. For man, it's not. But if you're able to work it out in a way like normally you light your own candles, you have no choice. You can't. There's no minion. So you light the candles, you have in mind. A man doesn't even have to have in mind. He's not accepting the Shabbos. And then he goes to shul, davens mincha. And then he accepts Shabbos as he normally would accept Shabbos. That's the way it's done. You with me?
I'm with you. It's interesting, someone who's put in the effort and went to go to shul and do everything the right way. Odds are it's not doing everything 100%.
Yeah. Do you know why? Because people don't do things 100%. It's not, you're not doing 100%. So you see, communities are not really functioning. I mean, we find, it's the rush. People, they dive in, there's a question, you say Kriya Shema too early. So he says, so say Kriya Shema in its proper time. He says, you know why? Because if you have Ma'ariv, after it says, well, people are not coming back. Then, no, people will not come back. But you're going to go for a meeting, right? If you're having a meeting, a business meeting, it could be 8 o'clock at night, you're going to be at the business meeting. But for Ma'ariv, you're not coming back. That's fact. So therefore, they said, you know something? Say Kriya Shema early, repeat it later. But you won't say it with its brachos, Kriya Shema, right? And that's stopping it. So you won't say it. It's better than not saying it at all, because people, if they don't say it early, they may forget not to say it later. Why isn't it? No. Okay, I was waiting for that. I knew exactly what he would say. There's a certain person that says every morning has to be in the office 8 o'clock, Because before the day starts, he meets with all his employees to discuss the day's activities. Every morning, day in and day out, except for Shabbos and Yom Tov. And he's out of here in enough time to be there at 8 o'clock. Person says, you know, every morning I have to be at the elliptical at 8:45, because I have to be in the office by 9:15. Day in and day out. Right? You're there on time, because you have to be in the office by a certain hour. I don't get too personal here. Okay. Okay. They say that's over your head. No, but I'm saying if each person would value it to that.
Company that says, okay, this is a deal. I want one meeting at 5 o'clock and I want another meeting at 6:30. And the reason I want the gap is because the sun hasn't gone down yet.
No. Well, let's put it in a different context. The reason why I want to have a second meeting at the later hour is because I want you people to reflect on what we discussed, so we can discuss it at a more advanced level after sundown. Wait a second. Krishma that has no value before sundown, before nightfall. So if people would understand the innate value of Krishma is, it has greater value than reflecting what you discussed, to discuss it at a more advanced level later. It's because people are not holding there. People don't value what they should value. To be continued.